this is for sure the longest that I've ever been completely clean and sober, and it feels really good.
Brady Leavold, a recovering drug addict playing professional hockey for the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees, grew up in the suburban area of Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. Like any other Canadian kid, his dream was to play in the National Hockey League. Success came easily to Leavold as he began to turn heads in the junior leagues.
Throws it back and scores! Brady Leavold goes back and forth behind the net, comes out the right side and lifts the backhander up and in.
Leavold rights here on Dillon. Dillon comes back with a right of his own. Here's Leavold uppercut. Another right by Leavold.
Now we got another fight. Brady Leavold got the right hand pumping on Tony Van. Up and over top. Van trying to control him as Leavold's got that jackhand right going. Throwing a lot off the helmet. Now Tony Van answering. But Leavold switched to lefts and he got a few more in there. Oh, you got to be loving this if you're at the Civic Center tonight. Wow.
My junior career was kind of crazy. I was first-team All-Star, MVP of the All-Star game. You know, I had a really good year as a 16-year-old playing junior B for the Rich Meadow Flames.
Leavold went undrafted by the NHL in 2007, but that didn't deter him from putting up solid numbers as a 20-year-old with the rebuilding Kelowna Rockets. Playing on a team with current NHLers such as Tyler Myers and Jamie Benn, Leavold put up 69 points and 138 penalty minutes in just 67 games. Leavold did not expect what was to come in the following year.
Didn't really train that summer and, didn't really do anything. I ended up going to Tampa's camp and doing okay, but I wasn't in very good shape, and went down to Norfolk in the American League and got hurt and missed the first month of the season or so, and then I only played 4 games, and then Brittany wasn't going to come there. My daughter was only a few months old, and, I just asked if I could go back to Victoria. So I went there, and, my first game down there, I blew my knee out, and, that's where it kind of all got started.
A second knee injury in the 2009 season would knock Leavold out again. This time it would direct him to prescription painkillers, which led the skilled forward to unfamiliar territory.
I wish I could say that it was all injuries, because it was, and I had a prescription for them, but I definitely tried them, recreationally before I ever got a prescription for them, but didn't really have a problem with them. Just take them if my knee was sore or whatever. But I ended up getting a really large prescription from a doctor, and then, from another doctor, and I started realizing kind of after the fact how much it had taken my life over.
Leavold's addiction to painkillers then developed into an increasing reliance on heroin.
Got into doing some pretty bad things with them, and, they totally took control of my life. So it was a little bit, the doctor's prescribing, but, I didn't know what they were. I just didn't know what it was going to take me to. I thought that, it's not going to happen to me, and it ended up turning me into a heroin addict. And it went from the pills to, waking up every morning just trying not to be dope sick. I ran across this guy that had some heroin, and he basically said, I was really sick. I couldn't get any pills. And he's like, well, if you just smoke some of this, then, you won't be sick. And that's pretty much the end of the story. It was like a switch. It was like an instant switch. It was cheaper. It was easier to get. And, it's a sad truth, but that's what happened.
Soon, Leavold's addictions, along with a number of serious injuries, would lead him to some of the darkest times of his life.
Pretty bad handbrake, dislocated all the bones and fractured all the bones in my hand. I'm still kind of dealing with that now, but, so I wouldn't be able to play that season. I got infected. I was in the hospital for like 2-3 months with IV and trying to kick drugs, and, had a couple suicide attempts, and, it got really ugly. And, I was hanging out with pretty low-class people in trailer parks, and, hanging out with drug dealers, drug addicts, and, it was pretty crazy, and I was a drug addict myself.
Leavold's dark times on the drug scene would begin to take its toll and threaten his life.
Rock bottom was waking up in the hospital to a heart rate monitor, like the sound of the heart rate monitor beeping, because I tried to kill myself. It was like something out of the movie, and I didn't even remember what I did because I was so messed up from the night before. I remember just thinking to myself, like, really? Like, this is what your life has come to?
After being released from the hospital, Leavold realized he needed to get better.
I thought I was doing better, but really I hadn't fixed any of the issues inside myself. I just had stopped using drugs, right? Stopped using oxys and heroin. So the thing is like, you can't just stop using drugs. Like, you have to really look at yourself and find who you are and do a lot of work on you before you can start improving your life.
While recovering, Leavold came to the realization that the physical toll of hockey was partially to blame for his off-ice issues.
It is a tough life being a hockey player, whether you're a junior or minor pro or the NHL or making $10 million a year, doesn't matter. You're putting your body on the line and your body takes a beating. And if you are one of those guys that's getting hit in the head a lot or fighting a lot, I definitely noticed a change from the time I was 18 till now. I've had about 9 or 10 concussions and, I just don't feel the same.
Some shocking and sad news out of Minnesota tonight. NHL tough guy Derek Boogaard was found dead early this morning in his Minneapolis apartment.
In the summer of 2011, there was a multitude of hockey-related tragedies. Among them was the death of New York Rangers enforcer Derek Boogaard. Boogaard passed away when he accidentally overdosed on a fatal mix of alcohol and Oxycontin. The similarities were not lost on Leavold.
I remember when I saw Derek Boogaard pass away, I remember I was trying to get into detox, and I called detox, trying to get in, explaining my situation, that I had to go leave to play hockey, and I had relapsed. I had all these crazy thoughts going through my mind, like, I don't want to be that story. Like, obviously it's not at the same level because he was in the NHL, but I don't want to be just another casualty to addiction. That was a huge wake-up call for me, and I think for everybody, whether it's in the hockey world, the sports world, or just people in general, like addiction is very powerful, and it can happen to anyone. It doesn't matter who you are. I always thought that addicts were weak and that they should just be able to stop. But until you've been in their shoes and been an addict yourself, and there are ways to overcome it, but it's not just as easy as saying, okay, I'm not going to do it. With opiates, it's such a physical addiction that you literally can't get out of bed. You can't function. So for a lot of people that use opiates, whether it be oxys, heroin, Percocets, it doesn't matter at what level. If you don't have them, you can't get out of bed. You can't function.
The difference in Brady now is that he can get out of bed and function every day. Longtime friend and current Killer Bee teammate Brandon Campos reflects on Brady's impressive turnaround.
It's a feel-good story, and you love hearing stuff like that. Everyone loves hearing stuff like that, and I'm just glad he's on the right track, and he's been really good since he's been here. He's really helped us turn around some of our season because we're on a really good streak right now, and he's been a big part of it.
Now 3 months sober, Leavold has found a home. In 17 games with the Bees, he's managed 13 points and a whopping 77 penalty minutes.
It's just nice to be back on the ice again, and I feel like I'm 5 years old again. Like, I like waking up every morning and going to the rink, and I think the biggest thing I missed about playing hockey was the team atmosphere and having the guy, being able to go and, hang out with we're like a family, right, while the season's on. I'm just grateful for the opportunity and, really trying to make the most of it, and more than anything, just try to have fun with it, because you never know what's going to happen, and I try to live my life one day at a time, but try to get better every single day and enjoy every day that I'm alive, because I came pretty close to death a couple times.
3 months of sobriety has given Leavold time to reflect on the lessons he's learned from addiction.
Ask for help. So probably the hardest thing to do is to ask for help. I know it was for me. Ask for help, tell the truth, don't hold anything back. You don't realize how much help and how much support is out there until you ask for it. My biggest message, too, as I tell everyone, is don't judge people. I was very guilty of that through, my younger years, and don't judge people, and, give everyone the benefit of the doubt, and that's kind of what I do nowadays. It doesn't matter what you look like or how old you are or anything. I try to take the time to help everybody out and not judge people. So that would be my message for sure.
For those who use a smartphone on the go, it can be